Hey listeners, you're listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. Grab some tea, a midnight snack, and cuddle up in bed as we dive deep into today's most popular fantasy, sci-fi, and mysteries. We're your hosts. I'm Lily.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Christy.
This season, we'll be discussing a dark academia bully romance series known for its smutty content and often billed as a Harry Potter for adults. That's right, grab your Stardust. We're headed to Solaria.
Welcome to Zodiac Academy. Note to students, vampire bites, loss of limbs, or getting lost in the Wailing Woods will not count as a valid excuse for being late to class or this podcast.
In this episode, we're discussing Book 7, Heartless Sky, chapters 41 through 51, where the Vegas return. Xavier not only pays up for his shiny dejazzle, but also solves his dom problems, much to my happiness. The stars align and offer a divine moment, and devastating secrets finally come to light.
Before we get into it, this is your warning for major spoilers ahead. This includes potentially all Zodiac Academy world books, including the Ruthless Boys and Darkmoor Penitentiary series. We might accidentally let spoilers slip for other popular romantasy book series as well. Sorry in advance, like the books, this podcast is rated R, so be warned.
Also, a friendly reminder to please like, subscribe, and follow. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
All right, last we left off, the rebels had just pulled off the theft of Bard's eye, killed Lionel's shadow spawn, and took out his newest Inquisition center, freeing hundreds. Caleb and Seth also had a slight blowjob misunderstanding. And now we get to check up on the twins. It's been 4 months since they arrived, and they've learned so much about their phoenixes and weapon skills. But Tori's kind of really missing her coffee. And I don't blame her. I'd be missing my Dr. Pepper. Plus, living off of mangoes for 4 months?
Going from having coffee every single fucking day to cold turkey is like the worst detox you could possibly do. I know that it's not technically a drug, but coffee detox is no joke.
It is. Dr. Pepper detox is no joke either. Caffeine, I should say.
Yeah,
Caffeine.
Intense stuff. Poor girl.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Although, I did most of the description. I forgot about the coffee part because, yeah, I could not live without my coffee. But everything else I loved. As a vegan, this would be like my paradise. Vegan and no people. I mean, that's like...
I would love the no people. I'd like some more animals, but I would need as much as I eat the same thing every day, I would like a little bit of variety in my diet.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it. I enjoy vegetables and fruit a lot, but I would get really bored. But it's perfect for you. It's perfect for you, Christy.
Well, I would have to have a place to cook. If it literally was just eating mangoes all day.
True.
No. But, you know, if I had a variety, then I could do it.
All right, so what did y'all think about what we saw with Avalon and what we learned about the Phoenixes?
I guess I feel like it was slightly underwhelming. I don't know. I think it just left me with questions. I also had a question about whose descendant is she technically, because is she Hale's? Is she Marissa's? I think it's Marissa's.
She's Hale's.
Hale's?
Yeah, she talks about it when she talks about the castle or the palace or whatever. She's like, this was our place of power until people thought it was cursed. And then our people moved up north to where your parents now live. So it's Hale's.
That confuses me, but okay. I mean, that makes more sense than it being Marissa's, because I was starting to think, are they being trained by the leader of another kingdom? And that doesn't make any sense. But
the ghost of another.
Yeah, but other than that, I thought it was interesting. I kind of wish we had seen more detail of what they learned. Like, they said that they had to take history classes and order classes, and we saw some of it, but yeah.
They do talk about a chalice that supposedly will stop them from being poisoned.
Uh-huh.
Dante carries around one everywhere he goes.
Interesting.
They mention it during the party. They say that Dante has a golden chalice. Yeah, it's a phoenix.
It's a phoenix
so
chalice.
logistically, though, is it something that folds up and goes in your pocket, or does he literally have to walk around with his cup?
I have no idea. All throughout Ruthless Boys, he carries that shit around.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing that's like, well, I can't just carry a cup around everywhere I go, but Dante apparently can.
Maybe he's got a little fanny pack with a cup.
A fanny pack.
Oh, man.
But the real question about Avalon and this chapter is, what promise are they keeping?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big issue.
It's so confusing. It is cute that they get the half tiaras, though.
Yeah.
I like that.
But yeah, sometimes they make it so confusing that it's not interesting anymore. I actually did not even think about asking where Avalon came from because I'm so disinterested in her. I was really hoping that they would kill her or banish her or something, and then they could just continue on.
Yeah.
Well, they did.
They kind of did.
Yes, that was nice. I did like that part quite a bit, but yeah.
That is kind of funny.
It also seems like the stars kind of approve of what they did and gave them these shiny new dresses as they exit the building.
You know,
what'd y'all think?
These books are weird. I was thinking on the way home how much I'm enjoying them, but then you get like shit like this, and I'm like, what?
Why would you give them a dress, not a fucking weapon?
They just
Something
graduated.
useful.
Shouldn't they get armor or something?
Right?
They are a weapon, and they have armor.
Yeah, whatever.
It's still like, here's the dress. Like, no.
I am surprised that you didn't point this out, but Tori took the red and gold one, and Darcy the blue and silver. So Tori is Gryffindor, and Darcy is Ravenclaw.
Well, who are the rest?
I don't know, but the stars have deemed.
Well, that's why I thought about it. But in the books, Ravenclaw is blue and gold.
I looked it up. It said blue and silver. I thought it was blue and black,
I thought it was blue and silver in the movie and then blue and gold in the books.
Might be. I just Googled what were the colors for Ravenclaw.
Because they were I think they changed them for the movies because they couldn't have yellow in 3 different houses because they had to differentiate them.
See, I thought that blue and black was Ravenclaw. That was my thought. And then I had to look it up to see. And it came back on Google as blue and silver. So I was like, oh, maybe I was wrong.
Blue and silver is better anyway.
Yeah.
But also, I didn't think of the Ravenclaw and Gryffindor thing because there's not 2 other ones. I thought of the red and blue because I immediately thought of Darius and Orion because those are their colors.
Yeah, plus it is the colors of the Phoenix, the red and blue fire.
Yeah, true. That's a better answer. I literally didn't think about that even in a little bit.
I didn't get that far. I just got as far as dresses, really? Like this is...
Yeah.
They gotta be pretty.
They have to be...
Oh my God.
Queens.
But they can
so when they
have armor or something. No, I just said they can have armor or something.
But they have armor.
Okay, but the armor that Jerry gives them is joke armor, right? I can't ever take her seriously.
It's their Phoenix armor left by their mother.
I just don't... I know. I get that it is, but I'm saying I didn't take Jerry seriously because I can't.
Well, when they get back to the burrow, they get quite the welcome. Jerry faints. The guards prostrate themselves. And Gabriel has kind of stashed Darius away.
I feel like multiple times during this section, Gabriel tries to fuck Darius over. He just does not like Darius.
They never got along.
Yeah. He just doesn't like him. He takes every opportunity to just make things inconvenient for him.
Do you think it's though that he really doesn't like him, or is he just giving him a hard time like he does with Oreo?
No, I really think he doesn't like him.
Really?
Yeah, they had a rivalry before Gabriel remembered that he was their brother. So they just fought over Oreo instead of Tory.
I think
I knew they had a rivalry before, but I just thought recently that they would be, because he helps Tory get back to him.
That's because he loves Tory.
Pushes her towards him. Well, yeah, but as a brother, though, would you, if you hated the significant other, would you push them to get back together with him?
I don't think he hates.
Yeah, I don't think he hates him.
Darius.
I just think he doesn't really like him that much, so he likes to jab at him.
Yeah.
With Orion, I feel like he messes with him and it's like a little more harmless, but with Darius, it's really inconveniencing stuff. Like keeping Tory from him a little bit, or like at the end of the section, whenever he makes him go through the slugs and then doesn't warn him.
He didn't warn a lot of people about a lot of things like that.
But it was just very specific people.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry.
That was
great. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Speaking of Gabriel, we do get our first point of view from him.
We do.
They bring up many times that Gabriel and Orion have these secret pasts that they won't talk about. They'll take to the grave, but we do get a little hint of it here about a lust potion and some pro balls.
Okay, hold on just a second. Let me roll. I want to roll back into this last chapter for just one thing.
Okay, what?
So there hasn't been a death since Justin Masters was apprehended, which also happened to be when Darcy was gone. So I'm gonna leave that there, and now we can move on.
You're like, I just want to reiterate.
Tory was gone too. Tory was gone too, and we don't know who else was missing.
What? Why? Okay, wait. Why is the pro balls part read it out?
Because if you didn't want to know it, I wrote the answer there about what the pro ball incident was. If you didn't want to know it.
Oh, okay.
You'd have to highlight it
to see
and actually read it.
Yeah, I didn't read it. I will find out another time.
So right after this, they do talk about the power shaming again. And Gabriel gives some kind of a little bit of an answer of why the heirs don't feel it. Something about their power levels being too great. So maybe it is a physical, magical thing that people feel. Does that change your opinion at all of how these people have been acting?
Fuck them. No.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything is arbitrary.
Yeah. I think they're just morons, but yeah. And did you catch the Twilight joke?
Yeah.
Was there a Twilight joke?
At one point, a vampire...
I missed it.
Rubbed himself in Pegasus glitter and then went to the human world.
Oh, I did catch that. I wondered if that was a Twilight reference. I was like, that's gotta be. I totally forgot.
Oh, yeah. Well, because they called him Edward Cullen or something.
He convinced the humans that he was the real Edward Cullen.
Yeah.
It made me think of you, Lily.
Yeah, at least the authors are aware.
Gabriel does have a vision that if Orion claims her publicly, the rebels would turn against her.
And Gabriel was wrong.
But only because of the Elysian mate, and he cannot predict the Elysian mate.
I still think he was wrong because I don't think that Tory would ever have led people that ostracized Darcy. I think she would have said, fuck you all. Just like you said in your notes, she would have been like, screw this, I'm out.
His vision never said that Tory continued to lead them, just that they turned on her.
It sounded like, though, is that she led on her own because they turned against Darcy, is what it sounded like.
But yeah, I do think that they would have tried to be like, no, remember, she's the princess. And then eventually Tori would have been like, fuck you, I picked my sister, and I guess I just won't lead y'all anymore because y'all are asses.
Mm-hmm.
Literal
Yes.
and,
Yes.
you know, ass club members.
Did you guys notice that in the episode 21 description, I wrote, hold on to your asses?
I did not.
But I typed it out A.S.S.
That's great. That's great. So Xavier pays up for his Jacob's ladder and pulls a prank on Gabriel.
I went through so many emotions. I went, fire? Oh, fire. Oh my god, Xavier. And then I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening?
I just think it's funny that he paid for his Jacob's ladder with a pube forest.
But Orion yelling, I'm coming.
Yeah.
As he's hacking his way through
it was
forest of pubes.
It was totally intentional. The braving the sea of my pubes is possibly the craziest thing I've ever read. In fact, I feel like we should pull that up and just read excerpts from it.
Seth getting hit in the eye with the button.
Oh my god, the button. The fucking button.
Why me?
Geraldine and the pubes are coming for us.
It's such a scene to imagine. I hate that word though.
It took me a minute to figure out.
I have to point out that one of our coworkers, when we worked at the library, did open up this book and it landed on this scene.
That was this scene? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god.
They're like, nope.
I don't think at the time I realized that was where they opened it. Oh my god.
That's what he gets for randomly opening a Zodiac Academy.
He opened it and I saw the word pube and I was like, and I'm closing it.
Yeah, which, to be fair, this scene has that word way too many times for my liking.
Yeah, he kept reading. I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good laugh.
That's so funny. I'm so glad you reminded me of that.
Oh, and the fact that Tory and Darcy accidentally burned off all his clothes
while trying to burn his pubes away.
Of course, because we didn't have enough of that happening.
Yeah. And thankfully, they fell short of his dick.
Thankfully. Yeah. Yes.
And the pubes were so thick that, it still covered him.
Stop. Stop.
Oh, okay. So the part that I couldn't take was the pubes in the mouth. No. That was gross.
Oh, yeah.
And ew.
There's a lot going on in this section, and I just had no idea what was going to happen at every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one part that I actually liked.
Oh my gosh.
Xavier in this book. I really was like, oh, good job, little buddy. Because I really thought his joke was going to be
We said that we thought he was going to fail at pranking him.
Nope.
He definitely did a good job. A+.
And afterwards, after all the students escape, Xavier does make a move on Sophia, causing this big traffic jam in the middle of the hall.
Which, what the fuck are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?
But it does cause Xavier and Tyler to finally solve their dom issues.
It does. It does.
And
I do still imagine them before he loses his virginity. I was imagining them as that Zoolander meme where they're facing off.
They sit there and say, let me read this. Everything was fine until you showed up with your stupid coiffed hair and your hot as fuck abs, and now you're fucking dejazzled to top all other dejazzles.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down. And if that's not Zoolander, I don't know what is.
Tyler, how did you not know you were checking out Xavier? And Xavier, how did you not know you were checking out Tyler?
Yeah.
The oiling up.
I was talking to Johan. the oiling was disgusting. But I was talking to Johan and squealing about not just that I was right, but that it actually happened. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I could not have asked for anything better.
Yes, you could have. Caleb and Seth.
Oh, well, I mean, yes. But apparently the authors want me to suffer.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
So, can't give me
Washer
everything, I guess.
interfering almost ruined it.
No, for real, that was gross. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, Xavier goes running around the burrows going, I fucked all the holes!
No, wait, whoa. We haven't discussed about the fact that the tension between Tyler and Xavier, as this is about to come to a pun not intended head, is when Tyler looks at him and he was like, do it.
like,
and I was like, this is just as much a comedy scene as a sex scene.
But yeah, Xavier's sitting there like, say it, Sam Tom, say it, Tyler.
I feel like that could be a Twilight reference too, because he's like, you know what I am.
Say it.
Say it.
Oh my god.
Say it right now.
And Tyler's like, you have to claim it.
I dare you.
I can't. They're so dweeby for being in the middle of a sex scene. I was dying.
Yeah. I actually was not super thrilled that Xavier's the Dom. I think he's the worst Dom in history of all the history I know. I mean, I know I'm like fudging it a little bit there.
Why is he a bad Dom?
Totally. He's a horrible Dom. He's a complete and utter moron who has not done anything except for think about sex the whole
I think
time.
That's quite Pegasus.
Quite boy of him.
But look how awesome Tyler is. How much he's done to help.
Yeah.
How he's willing to stand against Lionel. I mean, he really has done a whole lot to help them and put his ass on the line many times. And Xavier's just a
That's
moron.
true.
I don't think he's a good leader at all. He has not invested at all in getting to know the rest of the herd, really. He's just there for Sophia, and that's it. So I was like, wow, okay.
I think he's there for Tyler.
Oh, no. Okay. I think he's there for Tyler's Pegasus hole.
I think Xavier's priorities are...
Skewed.
They were skewed, yeah. And Tyler had a good role model. His mom.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, but do you think Darius was in any way a good role model for Xavier? No.
Not
You
really.
can say no, that's fine.
I don't, I mean, I think, no, I don't really. No. But I also don't.
I agree.
I get what you're saying in terms of leadership qualities. However, I'm not disappointed that he's Dom because I feel like it's almost like co-parenting.
He does need to step up, grow up a little bit.
He does. But now that he's got what he wanted, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm going to be Team Tyler, I think, all the way. And I think that Tyler, though, is going to support him blatantly.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he
they
was
made
like,
a deal that
Dom,
whoever became
but-
Dom never challenged the other again.
I think they're happy right now.
and I would trust Tyler to stick to that. I think if it was the other way around, I don't think I would trust Xavier. I don't think he would be capable of not wanting to get his way. I think that's what I hate is I feel like they've turned him into an entitled brat. He didn't start out that way. He started out, and I absolutely loved his character so much. And that character I would have loved to have seen
Oh my God.
move up to the Dom position. But
yeah. When you said move up, I thought you said lube up.
Which is totally understandable.
It's totally
with me.
understandable with what happened. Sorry. I'm so sorry. God, I hate that word too. I still like Xavier. I think he's a little whiny, but I enjoy
He does
him.
need to man up a little bit. He's got some growing up to do.
But anyway.
But there has been another murder, and Xavier declares in front of his mother, his brother, and the rest of the gang that he fucked all the holes.
And who is back? Who is back? Who just got
Tori?
back?
Christy was revving up that answer. It was building inside her. She's like, and who has returned?
Now, I mean, think about this. Justin Masters could have escaped with whatever shadow powers he might have, killed somebody, and then gone back to the cell to be like, I'm innocent.
I don't trust a goddamn word Brittany says. Not ever again. Not after she gaslighted me about the throuple. Not after she gaslighted me about Orion and Darcy, which I knew also was going to happen. But, I started to really doubt my throuple opinion. And I feel like not a single word Brittany says can be trusted anymore. No. Not even a little bit.
No. Justin's a moron. No. There's no way.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's still interesting because I feel like there is more going on with Justin, but I don't know what that more is, because why would he be a character that is in focus so much if he didn't have something that was going on? So I don't know.
I think he turns Darcy on and off. I think
It's
like a
so
dog
weird.
whistle or something, some sort of magic with the shadows. I don't know.
Also, Brittany, I was just kidding.
I know.
Just taking it to a
I
level.
intentionally either steer y'all in the wrong direction, or I'll steer you in the right direction if I think that you won't believe me. So
I know, you're a devious little being. Little gremlin.
But speaking of Justin Masters, Geraldine and her father go to release him, and it kind of ends in a sweet moment for Geraldine and Max.
Yeah.
Because clearly Geraldine is not into Justin at all.
Yeah. And it's kind of sweet because she gets permission on both ends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's her only stubborn flaw, I guess, right here is that her dad has given her permission to break it, but she's like, no, I gotta be a lady of my word.
I was like, okay, then that means Justin has to die.
But
if she can't break her word, then he has to die.
What was it? She literally, when they arrested him, she literally beat him with some kind of food item and said, I knew you were a slimy slug and that I shouldn't trust you.
Imagine if you're Justin.
Yeah.
In this situation.
Is he going to take her back?
I literally... Okay,
yes.
But see, this is why I think something's going on, because realistically, this guy is way too fucking nice. And they say that later. They're like...
I had to walk
they're literally
so far.
But he doesn't give her a hard time about literally calling him a murderer. Why would he want to stay on her good side?
Because she is his reason for being there. And I guarantee you he is total dark side, and they've gotten him to infiltrate. And so he's going to do whatever it takes to stay there. He's evil. He's evil. And he's not going to have an excuse like Diego. Not that I'm calling Diego evil, but the evil things that he did.
I don't know, but I do think that whatever's going on is totally unpredictable. Like, we won't know.
I also have to point out that ever since you pointed out the bug language, every time she says it, I'm like, there it goes again. There it goes.
Yep. The bug language, because he bugs her.
What cracks me up about her chapters are that if you actually took out the useful verbiage, you would have like one paragraph. It takes pages for her to get out. Like,
I hate to be like this, but when we get to her paragraphs, I kind of zone out. Because it's like, I just immediately go into filtering mode. I'm like, okay, what's happening here? She's talking to Max. Max loves her. Okay. You have to read it like that because it's so wild.
Well,
she's funny, but it is literally.
Yes, I like her from other people's points of view.
Yes.
It's harder when it's hers.
I agree.
I could maybe do without her chapter.
Yeah.
I agree.
Geraldine asks Justin how she can make it up to him, and he clearly wants sex. And she's like, bagels! I'll get you some bagels!
That's another thing that I think is wild because he still wants to fuck her after all of that.
Yeah.
Agenda.
I mean, boys will be boys? Question mark?
Agenda.
Yeah, I don't know.
She gives him a place to park
but
it.
I don't, yeah.
When they were...
As someone who likes titties are not that great.
When they were having that secret ass meeting, he wanted her to stop seeing other men and sleep with him.
Yeah.
And she was like, no. I need to water my lawn.
She was like, no.
That's not happening.
No. Actually, the best thing about Geraldine's character to me is that she's actually so promiscuous. I think it's one of her best qualities.
And yet a lady.
Yes. She does it with class.
Oh God, yes.
I have to point this out though. When Max comes and comforts her after she's crying while making the bagels, and she's like, we can't be together because I'm a dandelion and you're a fish. What kind of lady would I be if I'm not a lady of my word? And he says, you're Geraldine Gruss and you're fucking everything to me. Well, this fish would grow legs and crawl from the water to sit with you, dandelion. And what if the wind blows and my seeds take flight? Then I would grow wings and follow you to the moon because nothing in this world is more important to me than you, Jerry.
Why is it making me cry?
And there's no differences we can overcome to be together. Including the throne, Max? Including the throne?
He's speaking her language.
That is not an issue. He will bow.
Oh my God.
Problem solved, he will bow, I promise you.
Emotional about this fucking little paragraph. I was over the moon. He not only does he speak her language, but he literally reminds her, you are always gonna be you, and that's why I love you. He doesn't say he loves her, but he pretty much...
He does, just not in the words.
Just not in those
He's
words.
proving it.
And it's so... I'm speechless. I loved this moment. There have been a lot of really sweet, heartfelt moments lately with a lot of the characters, but this one blew me away. I think because he was literally using her metaphors. You know what I mean?
Which means that they're all going to die, right?
No, I think they would be one of those couples that the authors couldn't kill.
If they die hand in hand like Tonks and Lupin, then maybe.
You had to bring up Tonks and Lupin.
You know what? It is heart-wrenching, but you're the one that mentioned they would die.
Although, I would love to talk to these authors. I mean, the minds that can put out the verbiage from Leon to Geraldine. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I would just sit there and listen.
The mind space they have to go into to create such utter nonsense must be wild.
But it's fabulous.
It is amazing. I was thinking on the way home today, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, how much I've grown to love these characters and how much I enjoy the characters as, I don't know. I still have some problems with the books. I think that's a given whenever you read books. You're going to have some issues. But I've just really grown to appreciate the world that they live in and the characters interacting together. And I'm just fallen in love with them. And I was like, oh, I'm glad I finally got all the way to this part and that we stuck it out and we're still reading them. Because it was
because there were some rough parts. There were definitely some rough.
Yeah, that's what some readers on Threads have been saying lately is, how did you get through the first book? It was rough.
Yeah, it is rough compared to the rest.
Wasn't bad.
Well, I like the first book. Okay,
I guess for me,
but the first 4 are rougher
Yeah.
than the following ones. And I think it takes reading those to really appreciate where you are later in the books. So unfortunately, it is like a rough read sometimes because you have to suffer a bit, but
And rage.
I don't know. I think, yes, and rage.
It's a little slow, but
Yeah.
for me, I think the rough parts, not that it will shock you, Darcy. I think that's for me when God, I so wanted to quit. I was just so done with her.
I never had an issue with her to that extent, but I did feel like it was drawing out so much. Like the story was drawing out.
The story could be
no,
shorter.
I just hated her.
Yeah.
On to a character we all hate. Apparently, Lionel is looking for a new seer now that Bard's shadow eye has been stolen. And it also seems that Lionel hasn't learned his lesson about forcing people to sleep with him.
Hilarious, right? You would think that after that terrible last section with him that he would learn that, oh, you're not supposed to force people to sleep with you or like coerce people.
Oh, yeah. And his reaction to Lavinia is absolutely the reaction of somebody who has been raped. And he's like, oh, I don't even want her to touch me. And yet he's like, oh, Franny, you look good. I'm going to command that you spend the evening with me.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. For people like him, they expect respect.
Yeah.
But rules don't apply to them.
You know what kills me? That he was like, I'm at the height of my career. I was like, career? As in, you worked to get here?
Yeah. You stole to get here?
That actually cracked me up. I was like, I can't believe he just referred to it as his career, as if he's delusional.
He is delusional.
Well, they do call it like career criminals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what he is. He also said that he was relieved that his monstrous shadow progeny had been butchered, and he's got a new plan for an heir.
I guess, I don't know if I was surprised about him saying that about Mildred. I think I'm a little surprised because it's gross.
It is gross.
Because it's his family. But at the same time, he really, really wants to have an heir that's a dragon heir.
Pure blood. He really thought that any child with Lavinia was going to be pure fae.
Nah, for real. You saw Shadow Lady and were like, yeah, she'll birth a normal fae.
Oh, no.
He was the stupider one. Let's remember that.
Yeah. Well, you know Lavinia is going to slaughter Mildred.
We can only hope.
Oh my god. Oh, I almost feel bad for her.
Do you think that she'll slaughter Stella?
No.
No, I don't. I actually wonder what's going to happen with Stella. I honestly half expected him to say that he was going to force Stella to have his baby or something.
She's a vampire, though. And vampires are common.
Well,
now, how cool would it be if Stella and Lavinia started working together?
That would be sick.
That would be cool. I just don't think that Lavinia's jealousy could handle that.
Yeah, I don't know if she will ever look at another woman near Lionel and think that it's okay.
Yeah. I don't think it'll happen, but it would be cool.
What'd y'all think about the interview?
Yeah. Oh, sweet Justice. Sweet Justice. Whenever she turned to him and was like, but you weren't always good friends, right? And I was like, where is this about to go?
Yeah. And he thinks that she's on his side and they're good friends. And yet she's like, oh, this is to make them, soften up to you.
He knew he asked for that shit. He should have known going out in front of everybody like that and thinking you're some hot shit. Come on. Also, these people are fae.
Yeah.
But I was still a little shocked, though, at how open they were about making fun of him and laughing at him, because the way they portray him is, I know he tries to portray himself as like this wonderful, kind leader, but still, a lot of the things that he has done, it's kind of shocking that they would laugh at him. So
well, I would agree with that, except for the fact that it's been kind of like a running trend throughout these books that even if someone's popular, they can be taken down.
A peg or two.
I guess because of the nature of the Fae. Yeah, think about when Caleb had the Pegasus blow up doll incident.
Oh yes.
But that was Lionel, at the height of their popularity.
But Lionel has just killed multiple.
But does the public know that? They're going in Inquisition centers, and they don't know what happens in those Inquisition centers.
He's portraying that he's not a bad guy, because that's why whenever he's in the interview, he's like, I can't let them see how angry I'm getting because I have to portray this
benevolent leader.
Yeah.
He's rounding up the orders to protect his people, but they don't know what's happening in those centers.
Yeah, so I don't know if they know how just awful he is.
Like the concentration camps. America put Japanese people in, and it's not talked about in history classes.
It's not talked about, but those people at that time, you know what's going on. Now you can choose not to know, but it is by choice. It's not because you don't have access to the information, so there is no excuse. So just like in this book, those people know something's going on if they're choosing not to recognize it. But maybe they are, and maybe that's why they're openly making fun of him.
Yep.
Maybe that's their way of kind of pushing back.
Well, we all know that the counselors and the spare heirs don't like them. They're the ones that start up the chant, lame Lionel, which I was so proud. I was like,
yes,
go.
Good for them. Spares.
Now, how would Lionel have explained it? Because he wanted Portia arrested. And that was on live TV. So how would he have explained that while still pretending to be the good guy? Because she technically did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
He could say that she disobeyed an order. No clue.
I think that he would be forced to let her live and not be taken in. He would be forced to let her do.
I'm sure he'd lie about something. The fact that Dante showed up, he could be like, she's with the rebels. Kill her.
Maybe.
And oh my God, Dante.
He was like, this one's for you, bitch.
Yeah, he does that throughout Ruthless Boys. He gathers blackmail on people, and it's just great. I love that Lionel's blackmail ended up being him fucking a Pegasus.
Dude, my jaw dropped. My jaw dropped. I was like, as if it couldn't get any worse.
There was also the video that they played from Lionel from school, the pitball tryout, and the are you as big as Radcliffe was? But this again, he was bullied in school, and yet he bullies.
Yeah.
It made him so mad that he wanted to kill Hale and Marissa, and he doesn't think that people are going to feel the same way about him.
I love that, what's her name, Portia?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love that she brings up that she was like, well, it is a little weird that Radcliffe's stings were all in one spot on his body.
Yeah. Like the wasp was held there by a jar.
Yeah.
We all know what you did, Lionel. You unfey piece of shit.
Literally. Look at us using unfey like it's a real... That unfey piece of shit.
All right. So Darcy's chapter starts out with the authors making us think that Orion is going to continuously try to protect Darcy and stay in the shadows and whatnot. But then they turn the tables when a moment later, Orion shows up with a I love Darcy Vega written all over his body and an IOU in hand.
I'm dancing. I'm dancing. Yeah, they're mates. They're Elysian mates. What did I say? I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen.
So it turns out that the last trial seemed to be them going public with their relationship.
Which is, it makes a lot of sense to me, personally. I don't know about y'all, but if you've ever dated a guy who
In secret? Yeah.
does not want to be public with you, it is so infuriating. And I understand why Orion doesn't want to do it. Like, he has his reasons, but they already had this fucking fight. They had this fucking fight when he went to jail, and then he went to jail. And then it pissed her off. They broke up, and then he gets out of jail. They make up, and they're still having the same fucking fight. And I was over it, and I was just like, not this. And then they hit me with the pièce de résistance. He pulled what's that movie with the guy with the boombox? What's the movie?
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
What's it?
Say Anything.
Yes, he pulled a Say Anything. He's like, I love Darcy Vega in front of everybody, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
And finally.
And some of the rebels booed him, but Tory starts to chant.
Yeah, fucking throw them out.
No, for real.
They do.
They can eat Griffin shit to the face.
They do need them to defeat Lionel. They gotta have an army.
I say eat shit.
Mm-hmm. I say kick their asses out. Hand deliver them to Lionel.
They feel like idiots now that Darcy and Orion are together.
Agreed.
As a mate.
No, they need to. I kick them out. Kick them fucking out.
Yeah, we don't need those motherfuckers.
Right? You want to act like Lionel? Go be with Lionel.
That's what they do. He's got an army of nymphs.
Good. They can eat them.
Yeah,
they
the nymphs have to probe somebody.
There you go.
I'm just saying, we'll put them at the front lines.
Yes, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. You signed up for this.
Yes.
Frontline duty. Bye-bye.
Yep. All right. So later, Darcy, Tori, Sophia, Geraldine, and Angelica are all hanging out, talking about their men. And I just gotta say, ooh, to some of that. Angelica should definitely dump her boy.
I need to know who this man is. I need to know who is Angelica's man who's trying to fuck her in her dragon form. I didn't know that the Fae world had scalies.
Had scalies?
I don't know. He'd find a way. Well, have you ever heard of furries?
Yeah.
Well, the ones that are into reptiles are sometimes called scalies.
Okay. I didn't need to know that. Yeah.
But just
logistically
with a dragon. How?
I don't know, but I'm sure they'll find a way. I mean,
but the penis is going to be too small.
It might not involve a penis. It might not involve a penis. I don't know these people's lives.
What's he going to do? A light pole up there?
I love that we're talking about the logistics.
Sex is not always penetrative
for dragon.
I know that anything. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Okay, even if it's not penetration and he's down there like punching buttons, I mean, is she going to feel it?
That's a great question. That's a great question. How is she going to feel during this process? I mean, is she going to get anything out of it? God knows.
Yeah.
I think Angelica's questioning that too, to be fair.
I love that Geraldine was like, you mean let someone service my petunia while I'm a three-headed dog?
She was like, you mean when I'm a fucking dog, bro? What the fuck? Dude, I laughed so hard.
And Darcy. And Darcy's like, well, I've had my wings out, but I don't think it's the same. I'm still Fae.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's the same. No. I was like, damn, y'all are freaks.
All right, so drum roll, please. Darcy and Orion finally have their divine moment right outside an FIB precinct.
That is
Fucking
typical,
stars.
right? Typical.
Yeah. And of course,
can I just say, I know that you didn't like the car thing, but I was kind of living for it.
I'm just not into that much PDA.
No, I'm not really either. I'm not like I wouldn't say I'm an exhibitionist. I just thought it was really funny that they were just going at it. I was like, yes, get your man.
And to be fair, this is our first actual Elysian Bond, I guess, ceremony that actually went right in the series.
And they were interrupted.
And it does.
Were they though?
It does drive them.
I felt like the FIB just came along for the ride.
It does drive them to consummate that bond afterward.
Right.
Which they did.
Imagine Gabriel's Elysian bonding with all those men. Oh my god.
Hers happened one at a time.
That's good for her, because that sounds like it would have been a mess.
Now, I actually thought at first when this started, I thought this was where we were going to see Darcy change into the beast. And I was like, here he goes. And then I was like, oh, wait, never mind.
Christy was like, she's going to turn into a beast. Oh, they're just having sex.
When Orion showed up, I was like, damn it.
Oh my gosh. I knew
But
immediately.
then I realized what it was. And I was very happy for you, Lily, because I knew this was your moment.
Happy for me. Thank you. Thank you. I was rejoicing.
So, of course, Gabriel has seen Darcy and Orion getting arrested and sent Darius, Tory, and Dante to rescue them.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, and when Darius gets through the wall, he has this moment, and in the audiobook it pauses. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? And I was just like, yeah, Darius.
Yeah. I was like, okay, at least somebody's gonna go get them. That's good. But they really putting them through it.
Yeah, and this is the author's way of, you needed a map from the FIB. Well,
right.
Here you go.
Yeah. The part where Darius is like, are they fucking serious right now? They were going at it while my father was on the way to execute them. I was like, oh, he's channeling Christy. Christy would have the same thing to say.
And we do find out here that Franny is on their side, which wasn't that big of a shocker
I feel
to
like
me.
begrudgingly.
What?
Franny Pants is good.
Oh, I said I feel like she is, but begrudgingly so.
I mean, she is in love with Orion.
Yeah.
But she's also his nebular ally, too.
Right.
And to find out that Darcy is his Elysian mate, I think that would make me feel better about somebody I was in love with, because I'd be like, oh, he doesn't love me because of the stars.
Fair. You're like, well, he was never meant to love me, is kind of how you could take it.
Yeah. I don't know if she'll take it that way, but
yeah.
All right. So the gang rejoices when they find out that Darcy and Orion are now officially Elysian mates. Orion is exonerated and no longer power shamed, and the whole borough throws a party.
I don't know why I didn't expect there to be a party, but I should have expected.
Yeah. Apparently all is forgiven. Not by Christy, though.
I mean, if I was Orion, I would be blown too. I would be like,
yeah,
you guys kind of suck.
Would too. But to be fair, throughout this entire series, he has literally like, this is what I deserve.
Yeah.
He didn't begrudge people for, even though he hated it, he didn't begrudge people for treating him that way, the way Darcy did.
True. That's true.
And I hope Darcy holds that grudge. But I was super glad to see that Gabriel got some revenge on behalf of Orion to Hamish.
I don't remember what he did. What did
He
do?
had Xavier pull a prank on Hamish and change his chins to a ball sack for everybody.
I do not remember that. Oh my god. I do not remember that.
It was in chapter 49.
Anyway.
So at this party, Seth wears his new pretty red cowboy hat.
Oh my gosh.
And Leon's like, oh, so the hex hasn't set in yet, huh? Subtly drops that.
I love them both. And the way that... So whenever he started growing, quote unquote, cowboy pieces, I knew where it was going. I knew where it was going, but whenever the narrator dropped the little Texas accent on me, I lost it.
Oh God, that was not where I thought that was going. Do we want to know the story?
Oh Lord.
But I'm just saying, was Seth's front also hanging out?
I wonder if the authors know that the front is also open when you have assless chaps.
Because
I don't know. I think
that's what
there is an option that is not front open.
I hope so. Also,
because I feel like I've seen it without the front open, maybe. But it's like a fashion statement, not actual chaps. Let me see.
Also, I love that the boots were red to match the hat. Don't Google it.
Yeah, they exist. Can you see what I have to show
nope,
you?
I don't want to see that anymore.
So it does exist.
But it's a thong.
Well, this one is.
But anyway, the boots match the hat, so does the rest of the outfit match?
I would think so. I bet Seth looks great in red. Just saying.
And I love that Xavier was just like, fine, I guess we'll go.
He was like, all right, hold on. Turns into a Pegasus. And then Seth's like, I think I want to go again.
Yeah.
Caleb's like, burn it.
Yeah, no, this is not happening. Never again. Leon's probably like, oh, that was my birthday tradition.
Leon's like, well, somehow this poor cowboy died. And then
because
was it Orion that it was like, was the shifter you?
Some lion shifter scared his herd.
He's like, I don't know who that could have been.
His last words for this, not that I was there, but
yeah, that cracks me
Leon's a trip. I love Leon.
Yeah. Yeah, he's super fun.
So Tori tries to play a prank on Seth as payback for that time he peed on her.
Which is so valid.
Yeah.
Because I forgot about that, and that was egregious.
Yeah, and she uses his incessant need to steal her food against him.
Right.
But unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for their relationship, she can't go through with it. What about y'all? Would you have gone through with it?
So I was a little confused about the prank when I was reading it. What would have happened if he had stolen it?
So one of the 3 lawyers that Orion had, unfortunately has a tendency to fuck cakes. And so this cake...
Oh, right. I remember that. So you're telling me this cake has been fucked?
It has a hole in it.
It's just like...
No words.
I'm sorry I asked. I'm so sorry I asked. We could have just moved right on past it. Anyway, yeah, I don't think I would have been able to serve that to Seth.
I mean, he does definitely deserve some payback.
He does, but I'm dead. Oh my god.
What about you, Christy? Would you have gone through with it?
Seriously?
Of course.
That's why I asked.
How is that even a question?
Are you a Slytherin?
Stop saying that! No!
I think you are. I mean that in a good way, though. Like, you have the balls to do things that other people's wouldn't.
Now, I would fuck with other Slytherins. That would be.
Stop saying that! I haven't said it in so long.
So Caleb is all up in his feels and feeling all the feelings. And he almost even confesses everything to Tori at one point. But when Seth disappears, Caleb tracks down Rosalie, thinking that they got together.
He was so paranoid that they were in the back fucking. Which, honestly, if I was Caleb, I understand.
And eventually he ends up finding Seth in what looks like him having a threesome.
Complicated threesome.
Shared blowjob with Darcy. And his blood brother.
And they did the same dialogue thing that they did with the pube incident, where they were like, yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost. Pull it up.
Just turn it a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're telling me with all the magic they've got, they couldn't magic her hair out of that zipper?
Yeah. I guess not.
I mean, the other option was for Seth to chop Darcy's hair off again.
That could not have been the only option.
Mm-hmm.
He could have burned it off.
It's Brittany.
Right. So by the end of these 2 chapters, we get one with Caleb's point of view and one with Seth's point of view, which, by the way, can I just say how wrong it was for Seth to stand there and be like, I'm not here. I can let them know that I'm here.
Oh
and
my God.
After they're
You're so
finished.
Right. I was like, Seth, you can't do that, buddy. Oh my gosh. If you just imagine Seth as a dog sometimes, it makes more sense. I'm sorry. Anyways, as you were saying.
By the end of these 2 chapters, Caleb takes Seth to bed and dominates him a little bit. But then he goes, it's just vampire stuff.
I personally kind of loved it, though, because he was just like, what are we doing? He's like, we're going to bed. Get in bed. And I was like, yes, I agree.
Do it. Do it now.
I think it was good. I wish they would talk. It's so frustrating that they haven't fucking talked.
Caleb,
do you think that's going to be a first step, though?
Yeah. Caleb was like, after finding Rosalie, he was like, I'm going to go find Seth and talk to him and tell him how I feel. And then he didn't do it.
And then he doesn't. He chickens out.
Last chapter, it only took 51 chapters, but we finally got a war council.
Yeah. Well, this is where, again, Xavier's leadership is crap because he's too busy having sex to partake in there's all this going on and they're unreachable because they're having, I don't know.
Xavier doesn't have anything to add.
Well, that too, but
they could have gone in and interrupted, but they chose not to.
Yeah.
They could, but Xavier shouldn't be unavailable for that long. I mean, fine. Have your night of crazy horse sex and then
crazy horse sex.
The adults are talking. I'm not worried about him and his horse sex.
He is 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he is the dom. He is the leader.
Yeah.
And so he is now an adult. So, I don't know. I just felt like when they were... To me, it seems like they don't also respect him. Because I guarantee you, if Darius was in there having sex with Tori, they have gone in there and said, get your ass out of bed.
But they've also let them have sex, too. It was only...
In moments, but not during important parts
They
of
were
it.
supposed to be at a meeting. And Max...
An heir.
Yeah, and Max was like, okay... We let you have enough sex. You're late already. If you start again, we'll be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they pull him out. But yeah, it just, I felt like that was kind of one of those moments. I was
sorry. I just had a
come on
Christy moment where I went, when you said they pulled him out.
No, stop.
Midway? What?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yes, I didn't even get that. I said it and I didn't even get it. I didn't, yeah.
I love...
But I agree. Are they ever not having sex?
True, yeah.
I just want them to use Xavier more effectively. I want
Yeah.
them to take him back to that character he started out as.
Yeah, I do love that Max is there and Geraldine's like, we have this feast that we made it at dawn. And he's like, no, it was 3 a.m. And when you invited me to your room, I didn't think you actually meant we'd be making muffins.
I was like,
I
and why
loved
didn't you think
that
that?
part. Oh my God, yes. That was
Like,
so
this is
funny.
the one
But
time.
he did it with her
He
anyway.
did. It's like, this is the one
Because
time
he
you
is the
actually
best.
meant what you said.
Oh, I love them though.
I do. They are
And
adorable.
Now, one part in here, it goes back to what we were talking about with Gabriel, with the Stardust. Again, number one, why can't Darius do it?
Yeah.
But beyond that, then Gabriel shows up 2 seconds later to say, oh, look, I've got just enough.
Yeah, that's
And
kind of
It is.
well.
I
but
feel-
Leon did have some, and that was pre-established. But it is one of those things where it's like, come on.
It is, but I feel like the authors that they can barely stand to have a challenge in the way of their plans. So something like this, whereas when it's a relationship resolution,
Yeah.
they can drag that shit out for books.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
There's definitely a priority on what they want to write.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the last of their Stardust. So maybe it will be a problem. It might be a problem in the future. We don't know, but
Yeah.
they do use up all of Leon's rainy day stash, and they do have this tendency to be like, "Ooh, problem, immediate solve," unless it's a relationship issue. They brought up the map being in the FIB's possession in Geraldine's chapter, and then boom, fixed.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was crazy that the issue with this last chapter in this section was Darius revealing his secret as opposed to them sewing up the shadow
Oh yeah, that
vaginas or whatever. I don't know.
took 2 seconds. But speaking of which, there are 7 of them that they have to close, and they do get locked into teams of 2. Darius pitches a fit that he's not with Tory, but really Caleb needed to be with Tory. And theirs and Darcy's go really easy, while some of the others were a little bit more difficult.
What?
Orion and Seth.
Dude.
The rogue hair flip.
I know. I love them together. They're so funny. And I was really glad that he got his hair fucked up because of what he did to Darcy in the beginning.
I was about to say, do you remember after the Scooby Gang got the Imperial Star and they were all hanging out in the King's Hollow, and I asked y'all, do you think that we'll have any more haircuts? And y'all were like, no, I think it's over.
I think we were thinking Darcy was.
I know over.
That wouldn't happen to her.
I know y'all were, but I was waiting for this.
I would love to see a spinoff with Orion and Seth.
Yes, that shit's funny.
Sadly, I don't think we're getting that.
Nah, probably not. But I did think it was sweet, the little interactions between Caleb and Tori, because they're friends, and I think Caleb needs somebody to talk to, and it's just very sweet.
Yeah.
Tori and Caleb are going to be the Darcy and Seth.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It totally makes sense because I love Caleb, and it makes sense that he would end up with Tori, and then Darcy would get Seth.
Oh my God. You know what? I like Darcy and Seth. I
like Darcy and Seth together because of Seth.
Right. I like Tori and Caleb too, but Darcy and Seth crack me up.
You do.
Seth with anybody cracks me up, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
You could put him with a moon crater, and it would be funny.
Yeah. You know, he'd really like that. This one time when he actually got to go to the moon? No, I'm just kidding.
What about if you put Seth with Lavinia?
He would
I
piss
would
her
think
off
she would
to
find
high
it
heavens.
hard. Well, she would find it hard not to laugh. I have to think
No
that
way.
would be like,
She would
yes.
hate
Can you
him.
imagine? How is she going to sit there straight faced with Seth? Seriously.
She would throw a tantrum because he would piss her off and she would throw a tantrum.
She would be shadow giggling. No.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Just that little shadow belly, like jiggling up and down, all the shadows, like, no.
What the fuck? The way you imagine Lavinia in your mind is odd to me. I would like to see that. What the fuck? That's so funny.
I really want to say something right now.
So are you telling me that we're going to get a Seth and Lavinia scene?
Maybe.
Okay,
Oh
you
my
have to
goodness.
confirm which way it goes. Is she jiggling? Is she laughing so hard that her shadows are jiggling?
She's not laughing, but she might be jiggling.
Oh, is he shaking her like a doll? Does he have her like in his mouth? And it's like,
She might be jiggling. What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna break my no spoiler rule and ask what the fuck you're talking about. And we could just cut it out because I need to know.
Do you really want to know?
I genuinely want to know.
She gets pregnant again.
Oh my god.
by Seth? Oh my God. Really?
No.
Ain't no way.
Seth witnesses the birth.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So technically she does
Seth.
jiggle.
She does jiggle.
Good God.
Does he say something?
Oh,
He's
he's
like,
traumatized.
oh my God.
He's traumatized.
Yeah, I bet he is. He's like, I never want to be with a woman ever again, I bet. He's like, only penises for me.
Oh my God.
And of course, nobody believes him when he witnesses this, and he goes running, and he's like, I've just been violated. And they're like, get over it. Whatever you saw, you didn't see it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
She's gonna have another baby?
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, it's a big spoiler.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that image in our head, stubborn, annoying, stupid, selfish Darius then makes this plan now that all the rifts are closed to go fight Lionel all on his own. Now that, he thinks that Lavinia is weakened. I don't get it. Does he really think that going off on his own and potentially dying is going to help Tori? Because all he's doing is weakening her army. There'll be one dragon less, and they'll still have dragons.
I think he's worried about not being there when it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. But why go run off and die early?
Yeah, that is the question that I think is stupid. Because I understand wanting to protect her. I understand her not wanting to let her go off on her own sometimes. I get the instinct there to be concerned about her. But to just go off and be reckless with the little bit of life that you have left, I don't get that.
Yeah. And not to mention the fact that so what if Lavinia is weakened? She's still a power player in this game. And he's got an army there to protect him. He has proven that he's an unfey bastard who doesn't play by the rules.
Yeah.
And you think that going off and I'm going to fight him one-on-one, you think that's going to happen? Really?
Yeah, it seems really, really unrealistic.
To me, it says more that Darius wants the kill than he's willing to give it to somebody else.
Well,
And I know
specifically
part
Tori.
of it. Yeah, part of it is he wants it done before he dies so that he knows it's done. But I think part of it is that he wants that kill. And he doesn't think anybody else can do it.
Maybe he doesn't want to be wrong about that they shouldn't be queens. And if Tori kills Lionel, then that pretty much shows that she should be queen. I don't know. Maybe he's jealous. Maybe he wants to be the one that.
And I do have to mention, because I totally forgot it, but when Darius, Tory, and Dante go to save Orion and Darcy, he says, and I wrote in the notes, what was that, Darius? Can you say that again? A little louder for those in the back. You're not certain you can disagree with the true queen's rising to power anymore. What was that again?
Yeah,
he does say that.
So for that reason alone, because of everything that happens at the end, I feel that his need to go and face Lionel is not out of an insecurity about being the king anymore. I feel like he's moving past that, and I feel like it's more about he's really nervous about leaving Tori in a situation that she could potentially be, in danger. And so maybe he thinks that by going and trying to kill Lionel now, that he's doing her a favor. I mean, it's stupid. It's so stupid, but I don't think it's because he wants the kill. I don't personally think that. I feel like at that point, he's not thinking like that anymore.
I don't think he wants the kill because he wants the throne. I think he wants the kill because he thinks that he's the only one who can do it.
Maybe. I don't know. I think realistically, he has to know that Tori is powerful. And I think that the only reason that he denies it is because he wants to, one, he wants to protect her, and two, he still has some conditioning in him that's like, she can't be the queen, right? But he has to know somewhere deep down, she is ridiculously powerful.
Yeah.
And so it's just crazy. I don't know why he would ever fucking try to do this, but he does. And good for Tori for punching him in the face, because I would be pissed too.
Yeah. And I mean, he does say that Christmas is just around the corner, which, true to life. Yeah. But we don't know exactly how much time is left. And Tori flies away because she's so angry.
Yeah, I was a little worried she was going to head straight to Lionel. Although, as pissed as she is, she may just go ahead and end the war herself. And then it's all done.
I think she's just letting off steam, but it's like, you ruined the little bit of relationship you had with her by not telling her the truth. We both predicted that he wouldn't tell her for a number of reasons, and I understood why he wouldn't do that, but he definitely should have said something by now. Like, I can't believe we're almost to the end of the year, and he still hasn't said something up until this point. I really expected it to come out before this.
They really should have guessed.
Yeah, with the amount that he was saying goodbye to everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so our next section contains the last chapters of the book. Any thoughts on what's going to happen? Hopes, fears, theories?
Shit is about to blow up in everybody's faces, because this has been a super fun book to read. So that must mean that the end is going to suck. Just knowing these authors.
Are we going to find out, or I guess, are they going to finally reveal that it's Darcy by the end of this book?
Are they going to reveal the beast by the end of the book?
See, you're ruining it, Lily, because she would answer yes, and then it would confirm both.
Good thinking, Lily.
So what you're saying is that you hope that the killer will be revealed.
So, well, actually, there's more of a question to you, but yes, hopefully the killer will be revealed by the end of this book.
Any other thoughts?
Oh, so you're not going to answer
Wishes?
us?
Nope.
I know, right?
Not like we should trust you anyway.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
I don't think that Seth and Caleb are going to make up by the end of the book fully, but I look forward to that in the next book. I'm looking forward to seeing where this revelation about Darius takes us, because I really don't think he's going to be dead forever. I think he's going to die. I don't think that's going to last. And I don't know what they're going to do about it. So I'm wondering, are they going to try to find an antidote for this, or a way around it, a loophole? Or are they just going to let this man die? Because he kind of
Gabriel
fucked
did
himself.
Gabriel did say he didn't see a way around it.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think he's going to be dead by the end of the book.
Yeah.
I think that hopefully that will spur Max and Jerry to officially get together, get engaged, all that kind of good stuff, because he's going to be really upset, so she's going to want to comfort him.
Maybe.
And yeah.
I'm also wondering...
I think we're going to find out for the curse what it's... Oh, go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
I think... All right, I hope we find out, too, for the curse, truly what it is and what they're dealing with Darcy. I mean, both for the beast thing, but also what it really means. That's what I would like to see.
I agree. I think... I'm wondering if we're going to find out what the promise is by the end of the book.
Yeah.
Keep the promise. What could that be? And then, yeah, I don't know. What about Orion? The hunter will pay the price.
So next book, we also get some new points of view.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let me pull it up real quick.
It better not be Lavinia. No way. We get Lavinia POVs?
Yes.
What the
I would
fuck?
like to see that.
What the fuck?
We get some
These authors
Lavinia.
are crazy.
We get Catalina.
Okay.
Aww.
Actually, I was wrong. We do not get Lavinia next book. Sorry. But we do eventually get a Lavinia chapter.
Okay.
We get Catalina.
Oh, when Darius dies. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Obviously.
If Darius dies, do you think that Hale is going to meet him in the afterlife and like bitch slap him for how he treated his daughter?
You've asked that before, so I feel like now you're setting us up for that. Yeah.
I always it's my ADHD brain. I don't always remember the questions I ask.
Yeah, we had a long conversation.
I
I think it was in 24? Because I think when I was editing.
It's somewhere in there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with Lily. I feel like that's actually something we're going to see.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show Darius is dying.
Truly. I just think it's funny to think about how Hale would react to Darius and Orion.
I think he would like Orion a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Because he'd still be like, you're still fucking my daughter. You know? He'd be like, gun pointed at him. I don't like you, but you're better than him. Sorry, Southern conditioning. All right, well, that is the end of this episode. Next episode, we're going to be discussing Book 7, Heartless Sky, chapters 52 through 71. New episodes drop every week.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media. That like and follow are super important for us to continue to bring you new episodes each week. So please, please, please do so. Thank you for listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. We'll see you next week.
Happy reading, listeners. Don't stay up too late.